Hello, pupils. You're welcome to another wonderful edition of your favorite program, The Classroom in Your Home, a program organized by the Lagos State Government and packaged by the Lagos State Universal Basic Education Board, LASUBEB. The aim is to ensure that you are academically engaged in addition to what you're learning in school. I am Auntie Fumi, your English Studies teacher, and I have with me, as usual, your wonderful teachers.
Hello, children. I am your mathematics teacher, Uncle Agbaje, but you know me as the mathematician.
Uncle Popo is here, your general studies teacher.
And we also have our active sign language interpreter with us, Uncle Niyi. Together, we are bringing the classroom into your home. Please stay tuned. Hello, pupils. You're welcome to Auntie Fumi's class. In our English Studies lesson today, we will look at pronunciation and spelling. Yes, the topic is pronunciation and spelling. And we will focus on silent letters in some words. Are we ready? Of course, we'll go into the learning objective for today's lesson. But before then, let's have the correction to our homework. For your homework, you were asked to write the meaning of these words: canvasser, contraband, armistice, casualties, and audible. I received so many definitions or meanings given to these words. But then, here are the meanings. That is the correction to your previous homework. And I want to appreciate as many of you that submitted promptly, and I celebrate you with this chair. Good job, you. So the learning objective for today's lesson, don't forget today we're looking at pronunciation and spellings, and with emphasis on some silent letters in words. By the end of today's lesson, you should be able to identify words with silent letters, and then you should be able to pronounce and spell words with silent letters correctly. Are you ready? Please sit up and let's do it together. On that note, say, let's begin. Correct pronunciation is very necessary for correct spelling. For you to be able to spell words correctly, correct pronunciation is very important, very necessary. However, some words are not spelled the way they are pronounced because of their silent letters. There are some words that are not spelled. You cannot spell them the way they are pronounced because of their silent letters. Because there are some letters in those words that are silent in pronunciation. To avoid spelling those words wrongly, we need to identify these words. To avoid spelling those words wrongly, we need to identify example of these words that have silent letters. Now, examples of words with silent letters. There are some words with silent letter T. The T is silent in those words. We say silent T. Let's have examples of these words. Can you pronounce these words? This is listen. Or have you been calling it listen? It is incorrect. The correct pronunciation is listen. The letter T is silent. So you have listen, hasten, apostle, castle, often, depot, not depot, depot, wrestle, whistle, and fasten. In all these words, the letter T is silent. The letter T is silent. You have silent T in all of these words. Let's read the words again. Are you ready? We're doing it together. Let's go. Listen, hasten, apostle, castle, often, depot, wrestle, whistle, and fasten. Are we together? Let's move on. In some words, the letter D, do sound, the do sound, yeah, is silent. Let's have examples of these words. Handkerchief. Do you pronounce it as handkerchief? No, that is not correct. The correct pronunciation is handkerchief. The D is silent. Handsome. Handkerchief, handsome. The letter D is silent. Are we together? Good job, you. In some words, the letter P is silent. Letter P is silent. Words like Sam, you don't pronounce as psalm. It's Sam. Sam. Cupboard. Psychology. Sam, cupboard, and psychology. You want to in Sam, cupboard, psychology. Letter P is silent. In these words, we have silent letter B. B as in bag. Silent letter B. Here are the words. Lamb. You don't say lamb. The word is lamb. Dumb. Thumb. Comb. Death. Doubt. You don't pronounce the B in these words. We have silent B in these words. Let's pronounce them again. Lamb. Are you sure you're pronouncing? Good. Lamb. Dumb. Thumb. Comb. Death. And doubt. Good children. I am always proud of you. Now, let's look at some words that have the silent letter K. Silent letter K. Yes. Knife. Nobody pronounces this as knife. Nobody. So the correct pronunciation is knife, not, knock, no, knee, knowledge, and kneel. Knife, not, K-N-O-T, yes, not, knock, no, knee, this part of your body, knee, knowledge, and the act of kneeling down, kneel. Going down on your knee is kneel. So, in all these words, we have the silent letter K. Let's move on. In some words, we have the silent letter G. Yes, silent G sound. Yes, silent letter G. Let's have examples. Rain. Rain. Long live the king. Long may you reign. Reign. R-E-I-G-N. The G sound is silent. Rain. Nat. G-N-A-T. Nat. Sign. Sign. Like what you're saying, Uncle Niyi doing there. Sign language. Sign. The G is silent. Foreign. Foreign. And sovereign. In all these words, the letter G, we have them as silent letters. The silent. Now, there's words that have the silent letter H. Yes, silent letter H. In some cases, the H is pronounced, but in some words, we have the H as silent letters. Hair, honest, honorable, and hourly. Let's have them together. Let's pronounce the words together. Hair, honest, honorable, and hourly. What about the letter L? L as in lion. Yes, L as in lion. There are some words that have the silent letter L. Here are examples. Calf, calf, Sam, fork, york, could, would, should. Let's pronounce the words one after the other again. Calf, Sam, fork, york, could, would, and should. Are you learning? Well done. Now it's activity time. In today's lesson, we've been able to look at some words that have silent letters. And because of the silent letters, the way we pronounce the words when they have silent letters determine correct spelling of those words. We've been able to look at some words with silent letters, and now it's time to check or to see whether we've been attentive in the course of the lesson or otherwise. You have to identify the words with silent letters in each of the following words. I'm not going to allocate a different time for this. So get ready. Just write the word that has the silent letter in it. Number 1, boy, pain, comb. Which of the words has a silent letter? And then to the way. Have you written that? Well done. Number 2, mistake, desk, could, and drum. Mistake, desk, could, drum. Which of the words has a word with a silent letter in it? Have you written that too? Number 3, tomato, remember, and drink. Tomato, remember, and drink. Have you written that too? Brilliant children. Number 4, from, correct, madam, rain. Rain, as in that of royalty. Rain, not drops of water. Rain. R-E-I-G-N. From, correct, madam, rain. Which one has a letter that is silent in it? And lastly, football, children, listen, and pot. Football, children, listen, and pot. You've written the answer. You've identified that word. Okay. So, your pens. Oh, yes. Let's have correction together. Basket, boy, pain, comb. Because there's a silent letter B there. Comb, not comb, comb. So that's your answer. If that is what you have written, please give yourself a tick. Well done. Number 2, mistake, desk, could, drum. The answer is could because of the silent letter L there. Another tick if you have that. Number 3, tomato, remember, drink. There's a silent letter H, air. So the answer is R. Number 4, from, correct, madam, rain, silent letter G. Yes, is that your answer? Well done. Lastly, football, children, listen, and pot. There is a silent letter T here. Do you have that? 5 out of 5. Are you sure? I am blessed with smart children. And on this note, I celebrate you with a cheer. Good job, you. Now, for your homework or your assignment, please write one example each of words that have the following silent letters, different from the examples treated. We have so many examples that we have looked at. So please give me one example each of words that have silent T, silent D, silent P, silent G, and silent H. I give you the next 20 seconds to capture this homework, and I'll be back to sign out. Well done, children. In today's lesson, we have looked at pronunciation and spellings, and we've been able to identify some words with silent letters. On that note, I say that's it for today. Did you have fun learning pronunciation and spelling today? I did too. Yes, I enjoyed today's lesson. And on that note, I hand you over to the mathematician, Uncle Agbaje, for a beautifully packaged mathematics lesson. Before I go, I want to remind you that Auntie Fumi is always proud of you. Bye.
Hello, children. You are welcome to this segment of the program, The Classroom in Your Home. It is mathematics time, and that means it is time to have some fun. I am Uncle Agbaje. In the last couple of lessons, we have examined the concepts of volume and capacity. We can now calculate the volume of solid shapes. We also know that capacity of solid shapes are measured in liters, centiliters, and milliliters. Today in this lesson, we will be looking at what relationship exists between the volume of a solid shape and the capacity of a solid shape. But before that, we'll look at the correction to the homework that was given to you in the last lesson. Now, it was said that Umar drinks 4 bottles of soda water at this birthday party. Each bottle that he drinks is 75 centiliters. How many liters of soda water did he end up drinking? I'm sure this one was pretty easy for you, so let's just walk through it together. Now, what do we know? We know that Umar drank 4 bottles of soda water, and that 1 bottle of soda water is just 75 centiliters. And so if 1 bottle is 75 centiliters, then 4 bottles would be 4 times of that. And so 4 bottles would be 75 centiliters times 4. And when we multiply 75 centiliters by 4, we get 300 centiliters. Now the question says, how many liters of soda water is that? That is, we have to change these 300 centiliters to liters. Do you remember the number of centiliters that make up 1 liter? Of course you do. It's 100 centiliters. So if 100 centiliters is the same as 1 liter, then 300 centiliters will be, well, dividing 300 by 100, you get 3 liters. Is that your answer, my friend? Of course, that's your answer. I know you got this one right because it was easy. And as well, you are smart. And for this, I will celebrate you with a chair. Now, moving on to today's work. What are the learning objectives? By the end of the lesson, you should be able to appreciate the relationship between the volume and the capacity of solid shapes. We should be able to convert quantities from the cubic centimeters, that is the volume, to liters, that is the capacity. And we should also be able to convert quantities from liters back to the cubic centimeters when we know the relationship between them. Okay, so without wasting much time, let's begin. And of course, the opening question will be, what is the relationship that exists between the volume and the centiliters, the capacity? The volume is the amount of unit cubes that make up a solid shape, or if you have a solid shape that is hollow, the amount of unit cubes that you can arrange inside is the volume. And the capacity is the amount of liquid that solid shape, if it is hollow, the amount of liquid it can hold. So cubes and liquid, they go into a solid shape that is hollow. That means there is a relationship. So, but what is the relationship? Let us see about that. Now, my friend, this is a cube. It's very small. I could bring a bigger cube, but this cube is necessary for what we want to demonstrate. This is a 1 centimeter cube. All the sides measure 1 centimeter. I hope that you can see. Now, I want to demonstrate how many of these cubes will go into this, because the capacity of this bigger cube is 1 liter. If you look at the body, you have the graduations. You have 0 is the lowest, of course, that is the bottom. You have 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900 up to this point. And if I fill it to the brim, that will be 1000 milliliters, which of course is 1 liters. So how many of these small cubes do you think will go in the, well, let us demonstrate. So I'll put the cube here. Now this small cube, these are 9 similar cubes. I'll count, let me just fix it. So now we have 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this is 10. 10. Now I have 9 of that as well. That is 10, 10, 10 in 9 places. So let me just fix this and then we'll count. So I fixed this 10 to another 9 10. So this is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. So this, my friend, is 100 centimeter cubes. Remember, the one I started with, the red one, is 1 centimeter cube. So we have 100 of that, 100 centimeter cubes. So this is 100. Now, these are 9 of these. So let me just fix it and then you'll see. All right, so now we have 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900, and 1000. And so this is 1000 centimeter cubes. And so what we're claiming now is that this cube will fit into this 1 liter container exactly. So 1000 of this fills this. But don't take my word for it, just observe it. Voila, of course, it's exactly equal. And that means that 1000 centimeter cubes is the same as 1 liter. 1000 centimeter cubes is the same as 1 liter, and that is exactly the relationship. The relationship is that 1000 cubic centimeters is 1 liter. But of course, that 1 liter is 1000 milliliter. As you can see on the body, after 900 you have 1000. So 1000 milliliters is 1 liter. So instead of writing 1 liter here, I can write 1000 milliliters. So 1000 cubic centimeters, which of course we normally write like this, centimeter cubes. 1000 centimeter cube is the same thing as 1000 milliliter. And so that means that 1 centimeter cube will be 1 milliliter. If 1000 is 1000, then 1 will be 1. So these are the basic relationships that we're working with. This is the relationship between the capacity and the volume. The capacity is measured in liters, milliliters, and so 1000 milliliter, which is 1 liter, is the same as 1000 centimeter cubes. So keep that at the back of your mind as we work with today's examples. The first one says we should convert 18 liters to cubic centimeters. That should be easy because we know the relationship is that 1 liter is 1000 centimeter cubes. Now we know that. Then 18 liters will be 18 times of the other side, which is 1000 centimeter cubes multiplied by 18. And of course, that gives us 18,000 centimeter cubes. So 18 liters is the same as 18,000 centimeter cubes. We have successfully converted the capacity to the volume. Here is another example. This says change 7,850 centimeter cubes to liters. And so what is the relationship again? The relationship is that 1000 centimeter cubes is the same as 1 liter. Now to find how many liters will be 7,850 centimeter cubes, we have to, this has increased in the ratio 1000 to 7,850. So this has to increase in that ratio too. And that means that we'll put the bigger number on top. The bigger number on top, 7,850 all over 1000, then multiplied by what you have here before, which is 1000. And so from here, we can easily break down that number. Okay, So 1 0 can cancel 1 0. So if we have 785 divided by 100, then you know that we have to move the decimal point, which of course by default is after the unit digit. Then we'll move it back 2 times. So we'll go 1, 2, and the decimal point is down here. And that means that our final answer should be 7.85. But let's just check it out to see whether we are correct. That is 7.85 liters. So this, by the time we reduce it, we'll get 7.85 times 1 liter. That is 7.85 liters. It's as simple as that. Now, it's your turn to try out these ones. Let's see what you can make of the relationship and how you can apply them to solve problems. Remember, 1,000 centimeter cubes is 1 liter. You have 1 minute to solve this. Begin. Alrighty then, I believe that you are done because 1 minute is up and I believe that you solved both of them. Now let's see how your answers compare to mine. The first says that we have to change 14.05 liters to cubic centimeters. And so if 1 liter is 1,000 centimeter cubes, then 14.05 liters will be 14 times, because 14.05 is 14.05 times 1. So we have to multiply the other side by 14.05. Okay, so that is 1,000 centimeters by 14.05. Now, multiplying by 1,000, remember, if we are dividing, then we have to move to the left backwards. But if we are multiplying by 1,000, for instance, then we have to move the decimal point 3 times to the right because we have 3 zeros. So 1, 2, 3. That is, the decimal point will end up here and we have to fill this place with 0, and that means we're going to get 14,050. So let's just see whether our answer is correct. Of course, it is. That is 14,050 centimeter cubes. I'm sure that that is what you got as well. Let's see the next one. This one says change 13,500 cubic centimeters to liters. So the relationship again is that 1,000 cubic centimeters is 1 liters. So 13,500 cubic centimeters. Let me see. 13,500 centimeter cubes. Now, since this has increased in the ratio 1,000 to 13,005, this will also increase in that ratio. And that means that we'll be multiplying 1 liter by this ratio. But since we're increasing, this bigger one has to be on top, times 13,500 all over 1,000. So that should be the next expression. Let's see. Of course, now we can reduce 2 zeros and we will have 1,335 divided by 10. So that means we'll be moving backwards. By default, the decimal point is here. So we'll move back just once because we have 1 0. And so we are left with 13.5 times 1 liter. Let's just see whether that step is also correct. Of course, it's 13.5 times 1 liter, and 13.5 times 1 is 13.5. So we end up with 13.5 liters. I'm sure that that is what you got as well. Alrighty then, my friend, you are very smart. But if you did not get it right, well, perhaps you must have identified your error and you will not commit the same error in the assignment. But we are not done. We still have some more examples to work with. Now, this is an application problem. Read, the volume of a rectangular tank is 36,000 cubic centimeters. This tank, the volume of the whole tank is 36,000 cubic centimeters. Now, the tank is half full. How many liters of water are in the tank? I want you to think about this critically. We're given that the volume of the tank is 36,000 cubic centimeters, and now half of that will be in cubic centimeters, but the question is saying how many liters. That means we have to find half of this in cubic centimeters and change it back to liters. Are you ready? Well, let's begin. All right, so what do we know? We know that the volume of the tank is 36,000 centimeter cubes. And so if water fills the tank, the volume of the water will be the same as the volume of the tank, basically the same shape, and that will also be 36,000 centimeter cubes. But the water is just halfway up the tank, and so volume of the water is half the volume of the tank, and that means that is 18,000 centimeter cubes, because if we divide 36,000 into 2, we get 18. You know, half of 36 is 18, right? So half of 36,000 is 18,000. Now, we have to give this our answer in liters. So, we know that 1,000 centimeter cubes is 1 liter. So, 18,000 centimeter cubes will be, well, 18,000 divided by 1,000, because in this ratio, we put the bigger one on top since we are increasing. And then, so, 3 zeros will cancel. 3 zeros, we have 18 over 1, which is 18. 18 times 1 liter, of course, is 18 liters. So the volume of water in the tank, the capacity of the water rather in the tank is 18 liters. So you're bound to see this kind of problem. You're given parameters in centimeter cubes, but you are told to express your answer in liters. No problem, my friend. Find out what your answer is in centimeter cubes, and when you get that answer, now convert it to liters using the relationship which we have established. And what is that relationship again? In summary, the relationship is that 1,000 centimeter cubes is 1 liter. And of course, that means that 1 centimeter cube is 1 milliliter. So apply all this in solving the assignment, which is coming right up. Capture this in 30 seconds, but do not go away, because today is Thursday, and you know we have Thursday teasers. Hello children, you are welcome to this segment of the mathematics lesson. It is Thursday teasers, and of course you must be wondering, what does Uncle Agbaje have for us today to pick our brain? Well, something that will make you exercise that mental muscle in 1 minute, I can guarantee you. We have 5 sets of boxes here containing 4 numbers each. Now you have to study the pattern of these numbers and try to identify which one is missing here. So study the numbers and determine by yourself which of these images will fill up this sequence. You have 1 minute to think about it. Begin. Alrighty then, any luck? Well, let's walk through it together. Now, obviously these are numbers and there is a pattern to them, and so we have to identify what the pattern is. And so if we look at These numbers, you see that they occur everywhere. 1100 is here, 1100 is here. And then you have this one 1010, 1010 is somewhere here, 1010 is somewhere. So obviously the numbers are moving. So you only need to identify the direction of movement. So let me start with this 1100 or 1100. Okay. And the first position, it was occupying the bottom spot. Then it moved up in the second position here. So the third position is missing. But if you go to the next diagram, you can see it occupies this spot. So I have to look for the point where 1100 is occupying this second spot here from the top. 1100 is not here, but it is here. It is not here. It is not here. It is not here. This, my friend, is actually the answer. If you look at the other numbers too, you see that they follow a similar pattern of movement. We have 1010 here, and then it moves up. And since there is no other place to move up, it has to come back down. That is 1010 here. And it occupies the next position, and then it moves up again. So the numbers are actually just moving. Did you select this one? Oh, good job you, my friend. Oh, it was pure luck, or you figured it out. Whichever one it is, I'm sure that you had fun working with this. That's it for the mathematics class for today. I hope that you enjoyed yourself. It's time for me to hand you over to Uncle Popo for the general studies lesson. Till I come your way in the next mathematics class, remain wonderful mathematicians. Bye-bye now.
Hello, pupils. You are welcome to General Studies class. I am Uncle Popo. Let's open today's lesson the way we've been doing. Uncle Popo is here. Good. Your response is, I am also here. We are here together. Excellent. 100% attention. 100% attention, as usual, is what I want you to give me in today's lesson. Our subject for today is civic education. In civic education, in our last lesson, we talked about national symbols. And you were told that symbols are the identity through which a country could be identified. And some examples of national symbols were given, like your coat of arms, Nigerian Constitution, national flag and anthem, and all that. Today we are moving on to another topic. And the topic for today is national consciousness and identity. National consciousness and identity. Now, what are the learning objectives for today? By the end of the lesson, you should be able to differentiate between national symbols and other symbols. And you should be able to explain the values of nationalism and patriotism. So let's start. When we talked about national consciousness, in all countries, there are symbols that are created to serve or represent the interests of all members of the country, while there are others that are created to serve specific purposes of individual or group interest. What we are saying here is that we have national symbols and we have some symbols that serve, that are created maybe for a company, maybe for a group of people. That one is quite different from national symbols. Let's move on. Symbols that are owned specifically by individual or groups are known as private symbols. Are known as what? Private symbols. That one is quite different from national symbols because private symbols are owned specifically by individuals or group of people or groups. They are known as private symbols. So now let's look at all the examples of private symbols. Like now we have school badges. Like your school, you have your own school badge. That's just a private symbol because anywhere you go with that badge, you could identify somebody from the same school with you having the same badge. That's why different schools have different badges they put on their uniform. Let's look at this. All these are school badges of different schools here. We have different schools here having different badges. That's one example of private symbol. Let's look at another one. Logos of association. We have association that have different logo to identify them to. That's also another example of private symbol. Like you can see, Nigeria Bar Association, it is the logo. NS, Nigerian Labour Congress, the logo. When you see it, you know that this belongs to Nigerian Labour Congress. We have these two, Nigeria Football Federation, and so on. All these are private symbols belonging to certain group of people. Let's look at another example. Another example of private symbols is this. Here we have the Lagos State Government logo. When you see it on some of the buses or cars, or you see it anywhere, you know that this belongs to Lagos State Government. Here is Universal Basic Education Board, Lagos State. This is the logo for Universal Basic Education Board, Lagos State. Those of you in primary schools, I think you are very conversant with this symbol. Anywhere you see it, you see that this is the symbol for Lagos State Universal Basic Education Board. I think even on the board here, you can see the logo here. This is Universal Basic Education Board. Anywhere you see, you know this belongs to Universal Basic Education Board, Lagos State, because we have different Universal Basic Education Boards in the whole of the country, but this is for Lagos State. We also have Universal Basic Education Commission. This is the logo. We have for EFCC, when you see this, Nigeria Police, and so on. All these are private symbols. Moving on to the next one, we have the carving of cultural groups. All these two are private symbols. When you see this kind of logo or picture, this tells you that this belongs to certain group of people. Now, and so on, seeds and styles of organization is also part of it. Now let's look at differences between national symbols and other symbols. Talking about national symbols, these are the symbols that through which a country could be identified. And in the last lesson, you were told different examples of national symbols like Nigeria Constitution, the coat of arms, and so on. Then today we talked about private symbols, the logo of association, and some emblems of different organizations. All those ones fall all under other symbols. Now let's look at differences between national symbols and other symbols. One, national symbol here, they are used to identify the entire nation and the people. Other symbols, they are used to identify specific groups and their members. The first one here, national symbol, they are used to identify the entire nation and the people. They will know that this belongs to the country Nigeria. But the other symbol, they are used to identify specific group. It could be the group for NLC. It could be the group for one company or institution and their members. That's the first one. The second one, national symbol. National symbols, they serve the interest of the entire nation. They serve the interest of the entire nation. Other symbols, they serve the private interest of the owners. They serve the private interest of the owners. This is for the entire nation, and not the other symbol is for private interest of the owners for some groups. Let's look at another one, the third one. They are recognized within and outside the nation. That's the national symbol, and the symbols are recognized within and outside the nation. But other symbols, it could be private symbols, they may not be recognized outside the country and may not be known in some areas. It could be known within that area, it could be known within that state, but for national symbols, they are recognized within and outside the nation. Next one, they are not easily changed. You can't wake up tomorrow and change a national symbol that you want to change this, it's no more, or you want to change the logo or the design of it. No, they are not easily changed. But for other symbols, they can be changed by their owners at any time they wish. The organization, the institution can just wake up tomorrow and say, okay, let's change the logo, let's change this. So they can be changed by their owners at any time. So all these are the differences between national symbols and other symbols. Now let's look at values of nationalism and patriotism. Values of nationalism and patriotism. You know, when you say somebody is a patriot, that means he loves the country and is doing all what such a person could do to develop and made the country great. So let's look at the values of nationalism and patriotism. For nationalism and patriotism to thrive, for you to work, love your country, and show loyalty to the country, certain values must be promoted by the citizens of a nation. And some of the values are courage, you need to have that courage, respect, selflessness, caring, tolerance, and cooperation. All these are the values of nationalism and patriotism. Now, let's pick each of them and discuss. Talking about courage, it means the ability to confront difficult situations without fear. For nationalism and patriotism to be sustained, citizens are expected to exhibit courage in the face of difficult situations or challenges that confront the nation. That's one, courage. And some of our people have shown that. They have shown how courageous they are in trying to face some challenges in their country. That's courage. Moving on to the next one, that's respect. Respect in this sense means treating national issues with caution and care. Treating national issues with what? Caution and care. It involves giving due regard to national symbols and not disregarding them. Like when they are reciting national anthem anywhere, you know what to do. Even when you are moving and you hear the sound of national anthem, you stand and you recite the national anthem with them. That is to show the respect for the country. So that is respect we are talking about here. Next is selflessness. Patriotism and nationalism can also be promoted when citizens show readiness to render selfless service to the nation. When you render selfless service to the nation, you are trying to show that you are a patriot to your country. Next one is caring, tolerance, cooperation. Caring, when talking about caring, you care for other citizens irrespective of the tribe they belong to, or maybe they are not from your state. You don't look at this one is from my state, this one is not from my state, this one is from this one is practicing this kind of religion that I like, this one is. Everybody should be equal, and you take care of everybody irrespective of their position or background. Tolerance, you need to accommodate others, you need to relate with everybody. You don't take this as the most valued and the other one you want to fight or you don't like. So everybody you should tolerate, even they are not from your tribe, even they are not from your state, you need to tolerate them. And next one is cooperation. You relate with everybody and you make all of you the same. Now time for evaluation. I have just two questions. The first question here, state a difference between national symbols and private symbols. Just one. What are the differences? Just give me one. Two, list any three values that promote nationalism and patriotism. You have just 30 seconds to attempt this. Uncle Popo is here. Good. Eyes on me. Now, let's mark together. The first question, state a difference between national symbols and private symbols. We have many, but just one. National symbols are used to identify the entire nation and the people, while private symbols are used to identify specific groups and their members. National symbols cannot be easily changed, while private symbol, you can wake up today and say you want to, could be easily changed. We have many examples, but just one out of the words treated today are very correct. List any 3 values that promote nationalism and patriotism. You have courage, respect, selflessness, caring, cooperation, tolerance. Just any 3 of them, you are very correct. Mark accordingly and rate yourself. We have come to the end of today's lesson. But before we go, we move on to the segment, In My Own Planet, In My Planet. Let's see one of the great things happening in our planet. And today we want to look at Reading to Fortune. Reading to Fortune, this is the picture of a young man that's made great things happen that is worthy of emulation. Olawumi Treasures Bayode, that's the man's name. Olawumi Treasures Bayode. Olawumi Treasures Bayode is another Guinness World Record holder who has managed to make an exceptional record for himself in surprisingly the reading category. He holds the record for the longest marathon reading. Longest marathon reading allowed category, and made this feat over the course of 120 hours. That means he read for 120 hours non-stop. He broke the Guinness World Records in 2018. So that is Olawumi Treasures Bayode, that's made great things happen, that is worthy of emulation. That is why I do say that it is better to do it better in order to make it better for the betterment of our society. Applying common sense in an uncommon way will make you a great person. We have come to the end of today's lesson. Until next time, Uncle Popo says, keep on studying. Bye.
My wonderful pupils, we have come to the end of another beautiful edition on the Classroom in Your Home.
It has been like we should not end today's lesson, but of course, time is not our friend. But we have had fun, hoping that you have as well, and you have learned new things in mathematics, in English studies, and of course in general studies. Now, you can keep Auntie Fomi, Uncle Agbaje, and Uncle Popo with you even after we're gone. The only way you can do this is by doing the online assessment that we have structured out for you. You can access this online assessment using the link bit.ly/LASUBEB-tests. That is bit.ly/LASUBEB-tests. Remember, that's our way of knowing how well you are performing so that we can build more fantastic lessons for you.
Taking the online test is based on if you have access to either your daddy's, your mommy's, your uncle's, or your auntie's Android or smartphones. If not, there's no problem. Just send your questions, your comments, and your homework to 081 5086 5663. Please do not call that number. SMS and WhatsApp messages only. And when you're sending in your homework, make sure you indicate your name,
Your school,
Your class,
and your local government education authority. That is the only way through which you can be identified and rewarded accordingly.
we believe you enjoyed today's lessons and the previous ones. All these lessons are on Lagos SUBEB YouTube channel for you to watch over and over again. Just subscribe to Lagos SUBEB YouTube channel in order to get notification when new videos are uploaded. The Classroom in Your Home could be watched live on Facebook, the same time airing on television through the page showing on the screen.
Until our next lesson, when we shall meet again on another beautiful edition of the Classroom in Your Home, make sure you do your homework.
Wash your hands regularly.
keep studying hard, but above all,
Stay safe.
because at LASUBEB,
We leave no child behind.